This UFL Playoff Picks and June Jones edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. You can win up to 325 times your entry with their new Pick 8. Sign up with SGPN to claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get the best data-driven props and picks from Rhythm. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
This is Coach June Jones, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Cox.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, second the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kram?
Dog.
Hey, talking about some real football here on a Friday. We call it Football Friday.
Oh, I thought you were gonna. It's Lacrosse Friday, Ryan. Your Redwoods about to face off with the Carolina Chaos. No, but we do have.
Hopefully, there's no traffic. You might miss the initial face-off.
Yes. Joining us on the line to talk a little UFL from the college football experience, Colby Dant, aka Pick Dundee. What's happening, Colby?
Oh no! Hold on! Don't talk yet. Don't talk yet, Colby. All right, now talk.
Perfect Canadian lager, eh? CFL action's going on in about 2.5 hours. Check out the CFL Gambling Podcast. Let's go.
CJ said you were trying to bully him into taking Winnipeg in the over. How did that?
That was horrible. That was a horrible play.
I know because CJ was like, fucking Dundee, getting me all hyped up about Winnipeg.
Yeah, I that was really bad. Look, Winnipeg had not lost to them in a minute, and their offense normally is good for putting up about 30 to 40 a game. They look like they hadn't played ever before.
I got to be honest. Yeah, it seemed like things got hot and heavy. Is everything okay between you and?
Well, we can get to that when we start talking a little UFL picks. Before we get into, of course, Underdog Fantasy promo code SGPN. I'll get you that sweet deposit match up to $250 in bonus cash. Promo code SGPN. They got the Pick 8 going. Super fun to get down on that. And UFL, they have higher, lower UFL stuff, and of course, also brought to you by Game Time. GameTime.co. Use the promo code SGPN. Get you $20 off when you head over to Game Time. Your go-to app for last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Yeah, let's get into it. We got 2 UFL playoff games, and then we have a sweet interview with June Jones. A couple hot takes mixed in there. A lot of fun talking to Coach Jones.
The hottest of takes.
Yes, extremely hot takes. But let's get to it, Kramer. What do we got?
All right. So is this accurate? Because I know we've had some issues with the sports books producing the incorrect time of games, but did they really sprace out their weekend over 2 days? Did the UFL really not put both their games on the same day?
Colby's muted.
Hey, what happened, Colby? Where's your mic? I mean, Sean, what are we doing here? I don't understand how not only do you screw up the home location of one of your 2 home games,
yes,
but you think it's wise to separate the day over multiple days.
Yeah, I again, the UFL's execution and strategy has been questionable from day one.
You said it early, and I thought it was a bit. It's a Ponzi scheme. They're not trying to make money.
Well, I don't understand what's the negative side of this though. Like I agree with most cases, but
doubleheader.
I like it though. Like that, I've always lobbied for them to do like the CFL does, which is like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
But this is Saturday at noon and Sunday at 4 on the West Coast. I don't know. I think
they went out of their way to go head to head with the NBA Finals, which doesn't seem like a great strategy.
Well, judging by game 1, it might be a great strategy.
I mean, they're going head to head with Formula 1 qualifying in Canada. That's not wise at all. All right, Saturday, June 8th, noon. Like I said, on the West Coast, the Michigan Panthers hosting the Birmingham Stallions. Oh, wait a second. That's right. Just kidding. No, Birmingham obviously hosting this. They're the best team in the league. They're laying 5. Probably is this the cheapest spread we've seen for Birmingham in a couple months? Minus 270 on the money line, plus 220 for the Panthers. 43 is your total. If you did still want to grab a future, Birmingham's price has come down to minus 115. Meanwhile, Michigan is sitting at 6-1, which, you know, if you do the math, that's probably the mechanical price. So not much value there. Now, I will say minus 115 is probably short of what the mechanical price will be, unless they face St. Louis, who of course Colby's going to remind us will have a home game. So Birmingham, Michigan, you can't bet against Birmingham, right? They're at home.
First off, I do want to say congrats to Mike Nolan. Just won the Coach of the Year. Great year by the Panthers. Really good defense, and certainly deserved of the Coach of the Year candidacy. They do have that kicker that's pretty good. Although Mike Nolan might have heard his Coach of the Year candidacy.
Yeah,
getting his starting quarterback injured in a meaningless game. Why was Perkins playing so much, Colby? I know you're a big Nolan fan. You thought he deserved to win, right?
Well, no, he didn't play much. He came in for some reason in the third quarter, I think it was, or late second, and did design quarterback draw, I think it was, and stupid. I mean, look, what's his name? Perkins shouldn't have jumped up in the air, but I mean, once again,
Colby looks like a bear investigating a bear trap right now. He knows he's just been snookered, and yet he's trying to not fall for it.
No, I do think Mike Nolan had a good year of coaching, but getting your quarterback injured, the guy who you need for this week in a completely meaningless game because of the Wayne County Community College graduation, the home field is gone. That is horrible.
Sean,
coaching.
Are you in the chat right now? Because Flava Flav is shouting out the words of one Colby Dant here.
Well, it's pretty stupid to me. Like, if you're trying to build the league, you want to have,
protect the quarterback like Commissioner Goodell has.
No, you want to get quarterbacks hit because that's how fan interest will dive into it.
Then they might get hurt.
Well, that and you won't see a difference between the starter and the backup in 99% of the cases.
You don't think they're going to miss Bryce Perkins?
That's the one. That's one of the only ones.
That's the one. Clip this.
Yeah,
not
that's
Patrick Mahomes,
Bryce but still, I mean, that's what he gets. He jumped up in the air like a jackass on and he got hit and he's injured. And life is about decisions.
Sure,
all right.
So we gotta look into this playing.
And that was a poor decision. I mean, Brian Lewerke and Danny Etling. Do we know what to expect from the Panthers here offensively, Colby?
Etling starting. Lewerke might getting reps, and I think even EJ Perry might be dressed, but I think they can only dress 2. So actually, no, I guess EJ Perry's not getting it. But look, Skip Holtz though. So he loses the MVP of the league a year ago to the Green Bay Packers. Thaddeus Moss retires. Bo Scarborough retires. Both receivers that were the starting receivers on the Stallions last year are in the NFL. Shark Dog, Scooby Wright gets injured after like week 2 out for the year or something. And they almost go undefeated. How do you not give him Coach of the Year?
Just shows you how good their roster is. They don't need a coach. They could coach themselves. No, I don't know. It's also like, how can you even? It was a completely different league
last year.
It was a completely different league last year. They didn't have Coach of the Year. They didn't think of that gimmick. I mean, if you want to talk about growing the league, there's a lot of stuff they could do. I don't think what they do with the Coach of the Year award is going to move the needle.
You know
one
what I
way
think?
or the other. Yeah.
This is the ultimate handicap here. I mean, he just got disrespected. I mean, come on. This is such a great narrative. I'm sure the UFL won't play into it on the broadcast. But it's such a great narrative.
I do think there's a chance Panthers cover this. They've played really good defense. The problem is now that they're without Perkins, and they're also without their running back
It's gonna be a blowout.
Taoa.
And their best defensive player, Frank Ginda. Yeah,
I think this is going to be a blowout. I think Birmingham's been chilling for a couple weeks. And they're going to come out and they're going to just mash.
Yeah, and I'll take Birmingham.
And everyone's going to wish they had minus 115 Birmingham to win the championship in their pocket for next week.
All right, give me the Stallions. Colby, what are you doing? You riding the Stallions?
Yeah, I think they're going to get to the high 30s by themselves, early 40s, and I like the over, obviously. But yeah, this game's going to be terrible now. Like you took the best player in the league is Adrian Martinez. I think had you been smart and perhaps gave Perkins some reps back when games mattered, he might be the second best player in the league, but you don't have him anymore. So it's probably going to be a blowout. It's in Birmingham.
They should have protected the quarterback.
Sounds like he wants to get rid of the maybe
too much contact.
Yeah, too much
I
contact.
hear you, Colby. I hear you.
No, that's Perkins' fault. Not Mike Nolan's. That's Perkins' fault.
I think Mike Nolan deserves some blame.
Maybe don't play
for playing him.
The NFL has figured that out. Rest your guys.
If you have a good player that you need for the playoffs, you should not play him in a
also, if you're
meaningless
just not
game.
going to play him, don't play him a little bit.
Yeah.
Just like it's kind of more of a binary approach with your best quarterback. Play him all the time or none of the time. All right, so we all agree Discord going to have to eat some Michigan Panthers. Hello. All right, so then we have to wait a full 28 hours for more, or it's probably like 26 hours for more United Football League playoff action. Probably the more interesting game here, San Antonio, who has had the metaphorical horseshoe all the way up their ass, past the 50% part. So it's turned in. It's going to be hard to get out. It's like that guy that dove into that cave and couldn't get out. Just a nasty situation. St. Louis Battlehawks playing for the right to host the championship here. -3 on the spread. -165 on the money line. 140 for the Brahmas. 44 is the total. I got to imagine if you like the Battlehawks this week, I am curious what they would line the final with Battlehawks being at home. With that massive fan advantage.
I think they're like one of the few teams that has a legit home field.
But they're not favored. But they're not favored, and so I think
they are favored in this game.
Yes, but they wouldn't be favored next week. So what I'm saying is, I think for the Stallions and the Battlehawks, you could get a better price on the future this week than you're going to get next week. That being said, I don't like the Battlehawks. The Brahmas have had that horseshoe up their ass.
They have
the entire season. Sometimes teams know how to win. And I watched Eli Manning and a band of Hall of Fame defensive misfits defeat the undefeated Tom Brady in the playoffs. And I'll tell you what, this Battlehawks team, this is not the 2007 New England Patriots. So I'll take the team with the horseshoe up their ass.
Battlehawks haven't lost at home. I think it's tough to go against them here. And they even got a little San Antonio Brahmas safety Tease Tabor. He's been going after AJ McCarron, trying to injure his ankle, which is already tweaked. He said, "Quote: I told him straight up, anytime it's a legal hit, I'm trying to inflict bodily harm on you." Tabor said.
Yes, we need more of that.
Yes.
That's how you sell a league.
Any team between those white lines, I'm trying to hurt you. Told him if he runs around the corner again, he sees me again, it'll be another one of those things that'll happen again.
But he should be trying to hurt him.
Yeah, that's generally what you try to do on defense. I'll keep it chalky. I'll take the Battlehawks here. That is an electric home environment. I think AJ McCarron wasn't quite 100% last week. Give him another week to rest up that angle. They get the extra day of rest at home on Sunday. They have the home field looming for the UFL championship.
I just had a funny joke off in my head about AJ McCarron never being 100%.
No, that's true. Even his 100% is probably 80%.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna fade the Battlehawks at home.
It's
Colby, what are you doing?
Yeah, look, San Antonio is a candy ass team. So you gotta take. You said
you don't like The Rock, and now you're stealing his catchphrase. Call us
for lunch, and he likes candy ass. So we're connecting dots over here.
It's just they're a gimmick team all year.
Imagine Patty C had a tramp stamp that said candy ass. With
the hell are you thinking about over there?
The college experience. Team preview. Subscribe today.
Yeah. Lock up St. Louis. Come on, they're at home. The league wants them to win.
Oh, I like that.
Wow. All right.
Like that little controversial McGill.
But Sean, this league is not
it's like Jordan in the 90s, never called fouls on him.
But the number one way to make something fail without making it seem like it was calculated is putting competent people in charge. They wouldn't be able to pull off a fixed job. Not like our commissioner, Roger Goodell, who hires the best script writers in the land.
Yes. Sloppy work at the UFL, but yeah.
Can't trust them to have the fix in on the St. Louis Battlehawks here.
Let's do a lock and dog and talk to June Jones. That was
done.
What are you doing, Kramer?
Well,
lock it up, Stallions.
Dog up the Stallions, and we're gonna dog up the Brahmas. I mean, good luck over there with your chalk. You're in some dicey waters.
My lock, give me the Stallions -5. My dog, give me.
You're a totals guy now. You can parlay some totals.
Yeah, Brahmas, St. Louis over.
Now that you've come out with that,
St. Louis over parlayed with the Panthers Stallions under.
Oh, okay.
Colby, what do you got?
Colby, have you congratulated Sean yet for coming out and being a totals guy?
Lock the Stallions, and the parlay will be take the over on both.
Oh,
whoa! This guy,
Colby, I
I
don't think the Panthers offense. You think the Panthers offense can get to?
No, he thinks Birmingham's going to do it by himself.
I think Birmingham can get around anywhere from 35 to 42, and then you're going to see one score from Michigan. Boom, they're going to get it done.
I like that. 42-7, maybe 42-10.
All right, 35-7. Good prediction, Colby. All right, we. What are your final score predictions, Colby?
I see something like give me 41-19, and for the Stallions. And then give me in the other game, give me St. Louis, I don't know, 33 to 22. They have these wacky numbers that they always have. So 33-22.
The 3-point conversion.
Yeah. So
PLL has a 2-point shot, Colby.
Right. If the Brahmas win, I hope it's via onside kick, aka 4th and 15, because that would be good for the show.
If they open this market, these cowards, we're going Battlehawks first half.
Ooh.
If I could bet Battlehawks first 58 minutes Brahmas game, I would.
All right, let's kick it over to June Jones. Before we do that, make sure you sign up over at NYRA Bets. Get you that $25 free bet, $200 deposit bonus. Get in on the Belmont. Check out our Belmont episode. It was a lot of fun. Always great having our horse guys on the show. We coming off a winner. Malcolm gave out a winner for the Preakness. I tailed it. That was pretty sweet. Already got some action today. Make sure you check out the Belmont Picks episode and get in over on NYRA Bets, aka NYRABets.com/SGPN25, promo code SGPN25. Last but not least, Rhythm. Been doing pretty good on some NBA player props thanks to Rhythm. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/Rhythm. Head over there, get your 7-day free trial that got you with the AI. Putting AI to good use, helping you win NBA player props. They were on a nice heater. Some of their best plays have been doing pretty good here. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/Rhythm to get started today. Get that 7-day free trial. NBA player props. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/Rhythm. Joining us on the line, coaching legend himself, June Jones. We'll start there, Coach Jones. Congrats on getting inducted into the Ring of Honor for Hawaii there.
Yeah, that was a nice honor, and good to see a lot of old friends, and tried to get all my old coaches in the dinner too. So it was a lot of fun.
No, it sounds like a great time. When is there a plan? I know they keep talking about renovations. Are we going to get Aloha Stadium back up one day?
Yeah, one day. It's they're supposedly got it down to 2 RFPs, and I think they're choosing one the 3rd week in June. So I don't know how long it'll take, even if the bill passes, but it's going to be a while.
Coach, now you said you got a lot of old coaches back. You tried to get a lot of them all back to for your you being inducted into the Ring of Honor. Did that include, you introduced me to Jerry Glanville, who is still coaching football, by the way, at 82 and will be 83, coaching at Northwestern Oklahoma State. But did you get him on the island?
No, he didn't. He didn't come. Anybody that was on the mainland, we didn't fly in, but all the local coaches that were here and were with me were there.
Gotcha. Do you still keep get in touch with Jerry Glanville?
Oh yeah, I talk to him a couple times a month usually. Yeah.
Is he still trying to meet up with Elvis? That was always the great legendary story. He'd leave the 2 tickets for Elvis there. Any word on whether or not he's going to meet up with Elvis?
I bring it up every now and then too. We laugh about it.
Yeah.
So that was an interesting deal, and he probably wishes we never left tickets for him.
Now he's 83 and coaching. June, look, you were undefeated in the XFL with the Houston Roughnecks. I don't know why the hell they didn't bring you back.
One
as
of the
head
greatest
coach.
teams we've
It
ever
doesn't make
seen.
any sense to me when I watch these spring leagues, and I know June Jones is out there. Maybe it's a personal decision from you, Coach, but what's it going to take to get you back into coaching?
Well, they changed a lot of things. I was asked to go to the XFL again for this season, but I decided not to do it. They cut all the salaries in half, took away medical insurance from the coaches. So, I felt that was unfair. I have it all anyway. I don't need the job, but I was disappointed that the other coaches that were on my staff had to do that. So anyway, it just didn't interest me. I'm kind of in Hawaii, enjoying life, and at Mililani High School, I've been helping out there.
So speaking of living in Hawaii, enjoying life, I was doing some digging. Do you still golf barefoot? Because I saw a video of you driving barefoot. I mean, I have trouble with nice cleats and a decent driver. How do you golf barefoot? And do you still golf barefoot?
Actually, it's God made your feet. And there's a reason why you don't slip, and it works pretty good.
It's funny that you say that. Sean, I have a barefoot golf story. I was not barefoot, but I played in Hawaii. I was there with the wife, so I played solo. Played with another guy. He played barefoot. I was just gonna chime in. There's no slippage. There is
Really?
something about the natural grip of the earth, Sean.
Exactly.
We'll have to try it. We'll have to go up to Shoal Canyon and play on a landfill barefoot.
Maybe that's what's been missing in my game is going barefoot. I also saw this to me was almost as out of normal. There was you putt with a 5-iron. How did that start?
Okay, that's an interesting one. I actually got the yips, and I couldn't putt with a putter. I mean, it just was impossible. So I had played one club golf growing up, and I always just played with my 5-iron, and so I can kind of take it where it takes my hands out of the putting, and I putt pretty good.
I was gonna say that's considerably harder. I mean, it's an impressive thing to do. Anytime I see anyone putting with an iron, it's like, oh man, there's no way I could do that.
Well, if you're forced to do it, you'll do it.
I guess it's training.
Well, I also like the kind of superstitious nature of it. Of like, hey, because that's something I would do in golf. If I do something once and it works, I'm sticking with it. He had the yips. He found a solution. He's not going to mess with it.
I do have a 25-year-old golf club in my bag because it just feels nice.
Yeah, no, I hit the hybrid club for like every other shot. Coach, you over the years you've coached a number of big name quarterbacks. Your Warren Moons. You coached Tua at an early age.
PJ Walker,
Jim Kelly.
Walker,
Yeah.
Jim Kelly. Would love to get your thoughts. We just had the NFL draft not too long ago, but any thoughts on the current quarterback class? Caleb Williams obviously catching a bunch of hype, but where do you see these current prospects? How do you think they'll fare this year?
Well, I think the kid from USC is going to probably struggle a little bit with an NFL system, even though he had so much great success. I don't know that he's reading coverage and the coverage dictating where the ball goes. I think it was more of a RPO type offense that he had. The guy that I think will have the most success is the kid from Michigan that went to Minnesota. He was basically in the type of system that he will be asked to play in when he gets to the pros. And I think his accuracy was really good, and he can make all the throws. So I kind of like him the best of all those guys in the class this year.
Wow, I enjoy that take, and yeah, no, that's interesting. JJ McCarthy, you got number one, or at least this year you like him in that Minnesota offense. Which the run and shoot, you were a big part of that, and popularizing it in the NFL. If you had one team, if you could go back right now, be an NFL head coach of a team, is there an offense with their talent, their skill set that you think would match your system? Like, who would you really like to coach if you had a shot here going back in the NFL? Is there a team that stands out to you?
Well, I think the speed of the Chiefs is pretty incredible. Even though they lost Tyreek, they still replaced it with speed. And I think Miami. I think I would like to coach both of those guys, Tua and KC. What's his name? Andy Reid has done a great job with Mahomes. I loved him coming out of college, and anticipated that he would be that guy.
Last time you were on the show, I thought you said you had worked with Tua while he was in high school. How has it been watching him? And he led the league in passing yards last year.
Yeah, I followed his career. I did have him in high school. I coached his brother Taulia at Kapolei as well, and I think Tua has blossomed into an NFL type quarterback. I think that's why Nick Saban put him in the game, in that national championship game, because he knew that it was time to throw the ball, and that Tua would make the throws that he needed to make. In fact, the touchdown pass at the end of the game there that he threw was a play we called divide, and Tua has ran that play 1,000 times, and he knew exactly what to do with the ball when the corner collapsed.
I'll be. Do you think there's now when we're taping this, Tua hasn't got his new deal? It seems like he's kind of in line. We'll see what the Dolphins end up doing here as far as getting him paid. Do you think there's maybe like a weird bias against Tua because he's left-handed? I'll be honest. Like, I saw a highlight reel of Tua where they flipped. The way he was, like, they flipped the video, so it made him look like he was righty, and it to me, like, it was way more pleasing on the eyes. Is there something inherently that people are more judgmental on him because he's left-handed, or something about his release where it creates some sort of criticism against Tua?
That's I've never been asked that question, but I think you're probably right about it. I know that me personally, I don't particularly care to coach left-handed guys because they got to reverse everything for them. And finally, I just tell them, listen, I'm going to talk right-handed. You got to turn it around.
You figure it out on your own.
Figure it out on your own.
I'm a lefty, but I throw righty. It's a weird thing. I write lefty, but I don't.
And you golf barefoot now.
Yeah, well, I will be, especially if I get out to Hawaii there. So I think there kind of is something there. Digging around, I saw, I'm a fan of the Eagles, and there's always a lot of chatter like, hey, are they not, OTAs are happening, and there's always this mindset of like, you need to go super hard in practice. We need that old school physicality mindset. You were an early adopter of not going, or I read an article, and feel free to correct me, but they said that you were never one to have a bunch of full contact practices. What was the mindset behind that, not having full contact practices?
Well, the mindset was that you can't afford to lose your starters.
Yeah.
And, when the schools that I was coaching at, like in Hawaii, for example, if we had a guy that could play in the National Football League, we can't be losing him in practice.
Yeah.
So we didn't go to the ground and tackle, but we, did all the fundamentals that we needed to do so that when the game started, the kids knew, exactly, what to do. And it was injury driven. In the pros, it was salary cap, driven as much as that, because a lot of teams, if you go to a team, which every team I coached in the NFL was the worst in the league when I got there. The Oilers were the worst they'd ever been. The Falcons were the 2 and whatever, and so that you had to start from scratch, and so we couldn't afford to lose. If we did have good players, we couldn't afford to lose them.
So what is that move? You talked about like showing up to these franchises that needed a rebuild or a pivot or whatever. What was your go-to move to start that culture change to get guys thinking that things can be brighter?
To get a quarterback.
Yeah. Okay.
Fortunately the Oilers had one, but they were getting ready to trade him because he had played 4 years for him already, Warren Moon, and the owner didn't like him. He's giving him all that money. And I had competed against Warren in Canada when he was at Edmonton, and I knew he could play. And so put him in our offense, of course, turned his whole career around. He made the Pro Bowl and broke, I think, every passing record there was. And same thing when I went to Atlanta, they had a quarterback there, but he hadn't performed very well, named Chris Miller. And Chris ended up making the Pro Bowl for me, and probably was one of the most accurate guys that I had. I tell this stat. I want to say in his first year in our system, we had a wide receiver named Michael Haynes, and Michael caught 14 touchdown passes that year, and the average of those 14 touchdowns was 44.3 yards per touchdown. So that gives you an idea of how Chris Miller threw the ball. We had 90-yard touchdown, 98-yard touchdowns, 80-yard touchdown, but it was a lot of Chris's accuracy along with Michael's speed.
Yeah, we need to draft him for fantasy this year, Ryan. Write his name down. We got to get him on the radar.
Now, Coach, I was curious. We were good friends with Mike Leach, and obviously, we lost him way too early. And I was curious because it seems like the more interviews I do with coaches, I just interviewed Dan Hawkins last week, and he was bringing up that he was good friends with Leach, and I was like, I didn't even realize that. Did you have any run-ins with Mike Leach? What was your relationship, if so?
No, it was good. We talked all the time. In fact, I sent many players to him and guys that I thought could play in Hawaii when he was at Washington State and other places he was, even when he was at the last stop at Ole Miss, had a couple, and then I took a couple of his kids that when I was in the pros. But we ran a lot of his stuff, and he put in some of our stuff. And he came to see me in 1984 in the original USFL, and he was at that time at Georgia Southern, I think, or
Valdosta, I think. Valdosta,
and
yeah.
He wanted to know what we were doing, and so we for the next 50 years almost, we were friends.
Yeah, and I imagine you probably did. You probably talked a little football and a lot of Bigfoot or a lot of something. Coach Leach, I feel like you call
whatever Bigfoot on Hawaii.
I'd call Coach Leach to set up an interview, and next thing you know, I'm talking great white sharks for 45 minutes. But yeah, I imagine you had a lot of that.
That's actually a great transition, because I'm gonna take a leap here, and maybe you've hosted Coach Leach on the island, maybe you haven't, but let's say someone's headed to the island or one of the islands for the first time. What is one of the things that you got to do on Hawaii to kind of see and feel and understand what it means to be there?
That's a good question. I think, to be quite honest, if you're traveling to the islands, that go to the outer islands, when you get to Waikiki, which is where probably a travel agent would send you, it's more like Miami Beach. You really don't get a feel, for the islands. Where you go to Kona or go to Kauai or go even to Lanai, it's old Hawaii, and you kind of discover why you live here. I think I live in Oahu right now only because my buddies all live here. I live in Kahala, but I don't go down to Waikiki but maybe once a year, and I stay on the outskirts and try to live that way.
I gotta be honest, Coach. You sound like our people, at least my people.
Yeah.
Stay away from the crowds. Enjoy life.
I read an article that you invested in real estate in Hawaii in the 1980s. Is that true?
Yeah, as far back as the late 70s.
Nice work.
I went to college here. I bought my first place, I think, in 1977 or 78, and I've just turned it over. I made, obviously, from you buy and sell, you make a lot of money. And
Colby's just looking for a place to crash.
Yeah.
Apologies. He's trying to
maybe a studio, a college experience studio down in Hawaii.
He's trying to find. Hey, got any extra couches?
He'll volunteer to watch tape for you, as much tape as you need watched.
Coach, you mentioned quarterback situation. You mentioned the Atlanta Falcons, obviously a head coach there, a couple years, and along with the rest of your NFL resume. Get your thoughts on the Falcons' current approach to the quarterback situation. They sign Kirk Cousins in free agency, pay him obviously a ton of money, big guaranteed check, and then they also use the number 8 pick to draft Michael Penix. What did you make of that move, and what's your take on Penix's future in the NFL?
Well, I think he's a very accurate passer too, and I think I got a little bit of that left-handed talk when I talk about him. But I wasn't completely sold because I don't have the same feeling like you say. I'm just that way. I don't want to coach a left-handed quarterback, but I do think he's a winner and he's accurate. So with that combination, he's going to end up probably being that guy in 2 or 3 years. I really am a Kirk Cousins fan. I like what he did. I thought he did good at the Redskins. I thought he did good at the Vikings. And I would say over the next couple of years, he will be the guy and let Penix kind of, get his feel and get going. So from that standpoint, I think they took care of themselves for a number of years to come.
Yeah, we were watching, and your talks about you mentioned passing accuracy. We were watching an old clip of you. It was discussing, the Colt Brennan versus Tim Tebow, and you were pointing out you didn't think Tim Tebow was a natural passer, and there was some pushback, and there was from the other hosts, and certainly congrats on that take because as time will show, Tim Tebow not a natural passer of the football.
No, he wasn't, and I was just trying to get Colt into the Heisman talk.
Yeah, I'm sure I knew
it would do that.
I'm sure Colby voted. If Colby had
he sold me, yes, 100% with those stats he was putting up. Speaking of Hawaii quarterbacks, Timmy Chang's entering year 3. You coached him. It's one of your guys. I know that there was speculation of them hiring you, and then whatever ended up happening in potentially the second hiring of you at Hawaii. But Timmy Chang, I thought, has done a good job considering what he walked into. What do you make of him going into year 3 there with your old alma mater?
Well, I'm going to tell you what I just said a minute ago. They have a quarterback, and I think he's an NFL quarterback, maybe one of the better ones in the country. And so from that standpoint, Hawaii has a good chance of improving. This kid Schrager is 6'2", 6'3", 215, 220, and he can throw the deep ball as accurate as anybody. I've been to their spring practices, I think, and now that Dan Morrison's there, who ran, was with me for 30 years, is helping him be the quarterback receiver guy, that I think they got a shot to be pretty good.
Yeah, I think they could be a bowl team this year, and I think they got the
over under 4.5 wins. No respect.
Oh, take the over on that.
No respect. That's not much.
Take the over on that.
I saw Sean was rapidly writing down bet on Hawaii.
Well, yeah, I mean, when Coach Jones gives you a lock, Kramer, you don't stare a gift horse in the mouth.
One other thing I wanted to ask you, I don't even know if I feel like, we were friends, or we are friends. I talk to him still to this day with the great Nick Rolovich, and I think he's been proven with time more and more that he was in the right, and we shouldn't care about essentially his decision there. That's a personal thing. I want to see this guy coaching college football again. I think he's a great coach. I think or football in general. What do you think about your former quarterback Nick Rolovich and the chances we can get him back coaching again professionally or within college or something?
Yeah. Well, I tried to get him hired, and I did get him hired at my old job. He was the offensive coordinator. Jim Haslett hired him and made him the offensive coordinator. But then when the merger happened, he didn't get back on. They didn't go to another team, and it's probably because of what you said before. Whether you agree with it or not, they just have X'd him out. I think he's coaching and helping coach at Marin High School in Larkspur, right north of San Francisco there. And I think he'll get back in. It's just a matter, of somebody that he's worked with, like myself, getting him in again, and that's what it's going to take.
He's too good of a coach.
Imagine you're one of these kids just going to high school, ho hum, and you got Nick Rolovich coaching you up. I mean, it's great. It's these stories. Come on, let him let him coach. We need a shirt, Sean.
Yeah, I was not coached by any coaching legends in high school. It was a guy who did landscaping during the day and yelled at me in the afternoon. Coach Jones, again, appreciate the time. Before we let you go, just you've been involved in the USFL, XFL, CFL, college, pro football. I know you follow all the leagues a bunch still. Is there one player you're really looking forward to keeping an eye on this fall? Is there one guy on your radar that just as a football fan you're excited to watch?
I watch them and like them all. Jeremiah Mazzoli is at Ottawa, and he's had 2 years of injuries. I'm anxious to see him come back and throw it. I thought he was one of the best quarterbacks I've ever coached. So hopefully he'll be fine with injuries. There's a young kid that I just texted that nobody believed could play, and I talked Hamilton into putting him on the neg list, and they signed him before camp. His name is Harrison Frost, and you're just gonna have to look him up. He went to Auburn initially. Anyway, he showed up a month late for me the last time I was in the XFL at Seattle, and I couldn't believe how accurate he could throw it. So Hamilton signed him, and he played the preseason game last week, and he made their team. He was 24 of 32 for a couple hundred yards, and they called me and said, "You were right about this kid. He can play." So I'm kind of anxious to see how he works himself into to playing.
And he's behind your former guy, Bo Levi Mitchell.
Yes, he is. And in fact, Bo was there when I was texting him, so we kind of got caught up a little bit.
I started calling Coach the puppet master over here. I like how we listed off all these leagues, and you have just eyes for the CFL.
Well, it's starting this Thursday. That's why.
I appreciate
it's a seasonal thing.
We got to go all the way to Hawaii to get our CFL takes.
Yeah, let's go.
Well, Coach, always appreciate you coming on. Appreciate the time. Give him a follow on X at Coach June Jones. Coach, I'm sure we'll be hearing from you. And again, thanks for calling in. Appreciate it.
I look forward to talking to you guys, and I enjoyed it. You guys have a good one.
Love hearing from Coach June Jones. Love his take that JJ McCarthy better than Caleb Williams
for this year. For this year.
It's a hotter take if I say better overall, Colby. So I'll frame Coach's quote however I'd like.
I do think we need to make sure we clip the CFL takes.
Yes,
for the masses.
Well. Get the CFL subreddit popping. Colby, what individual college football team previews do you have out so far? Make sure you check out the College Football Experience. Get subscribed.
I just did the Missouri Tigers this morning, so most of the SEC, or at least I almost half the SEC. You got to remember these conferences are about 100 teams deep now, but yeah, we got that. We got Kentucky and LSU slated for the next like 48 hours. Going to get those done, but Alabama, Arkansas, Auburn, Florida, Georgia, Mizzou, all out there, and go listen to those because we're just getting started.
I love how he's doing all his favorite teams first this year instead of alphabetical, where he had no sort of subjective
Texas
bias.
will be lucky if they get in before some of these other teams.
Texas might be crossed off the list.
Hey, make sure you tune in if you're watching live. Tune in tonight, VSiN, 6:00 Pacific, 9 p.m. East.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He's Ryan.
Let's go. Sorry, roll Woods.
Kramer. Let it ride.